So I know just a little bit about Friendly Jordies because he was in the official podcast once, and he also does this other show with Jackson from the official podcast, which is one I highly recommend it. I listen to it all the time, but I don't think I've seen any of his videos. Maybe one here and there, but I really should. I understand that he puts out high level videos, like product wise, like he's very good at what he does. So his most recent one is Charlie Kirk is Dead. I of course heard about it, and I recently reacted to a song that Tom McDonald put out about Charlie. You can check it out in my music channel. It's just George the Cloud. But I figured, the topic is hot right now. People are talking about it. It's what's the breaking news, and just wanted to see what Friendly Jordies had to say about it, since, like I said, I've been wanting to check out his videos for a long time, and I think this might be the first time. So here we go. Anything in the descriptions? Okay, no, not really. So let's tune in.
Has been shot and killed. Conservative commentator Charlie Kirk has been shot and killed while speaking at a university in Utah.
We are hearing from President Trump. He is on his Truth Social platform saying that Charlie Kirk has passed away.
Well, I'm certain that I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I woke up to about 8 texts saying exactly the same thing. Just in case you don't, Charlie Kirk was shot in the neck. I think that this is going to be our generation's JFK moment. In fact, the footage does very much look like if JFK was filmed in 4K. I've got to say, off the mark,
JFK.
I don't think that that's happening in any other country. I think that you would have to go to a very desperate third world nation before you're seeing this level of violence on a daily.
Very true. I'm just going to lower the resolution, but again, I did react to Tom McDonald's song about Charlie Kirk, and I talked a lot about the state of the country and things on there. So if you're interested and want to get maybe a more in-depth opinion, go check out that video.
Level. I mean, the day before, we were thinking about doing a video of the guy that walked into the train and just slashed some woman and walked out.
No, man, yeah.
This is 0 days and counting since last senseless political death. I count the other one as political. This one, I mean, shot under his banner that says, "Prove me wrong." I guess they did with physics and bullets. This is quite a bizarre phenomenon that comes specifically out of the United States. If you are from the United States and watching this, just so you know, the rest of the developed world doesn't behave like this. We have our nutbags. We have our psychopaths, but they become historic folklore because of how rare they are.
Yeah, that's a good point. I will pause the video every now and then, of course, to give my commentary. I live in Colombia right now, right? Third world country, South America, however you want to think about it. I lived in the United States for half of my life, so I'm kind of half and half. This doesn't happen here in Colombia. I mean, it actually happened recently with a presidential candidate, but that is like extremely rare, right? Aside from that, it's like a very rare occurrence, especially mass shootings, political shootings, the one on the light train, stabbing, those types of, that type of violence that is so aggressive, so outrageous, is not common in the rest of the world. Like he says, yes, you will see it. Of course, you will see it in every country. It's not, it's not just in the United States, but it's like in America, it happens so much more than every other country that it's not even close. It's like, if you were to put that on a chart, statistically, it's like literally off the charts. It's not normal. And so there's something wrong going on in that country, and that's gun control and other things go into it. But either way, so just so you get my perspective, I'm telling you this from Colombia. Friendly Jordies is from Australia, and let me know where you're watching.
This, I can already see it in the commentary, is coming out as yet another, Charlie Kirk got owned in this debate. This is how it seems to be seen through the paradigm immediately. There will always be the token, I don't agree with violence. It seems to be as empty as saying hello to a member on the street when you bump into them. This is a cliche. Maybe not in the United States. Maybe you actually do have to be reminded of that. But it seems like that's always the first thing. I don't condone any violence. And then there will be a heap of commentary after that, either pushing a political point, which will be something about banning guns, or the fact that there's too many psychopaths in America and we need to do something about the mental health crisis. Or it'll just be straight up whether or not the person that died that day deserved to die. This is the level that it's gone to in the United States. I don't know, from an outsider, I've got to say, you guys doing all right? It really seems like a very sick culture has started to emerge out of there. I'll give you another example. When it came to the October 7 killings, not that I endorse them, but there was a casus bellum behind it. It was for a bigger cause. When the Israelis attacked back, again, not that I endorse it, there was a casus bellum behind it. There was big political nation-building reasons for the violence. In the United States, a lot of the time, it seems to be this person pisses me off on Twitter. I guess it's got the flavour of politics to it. It really seems like there's a lot of death that's happening now for bizarre, abstract reasons that really just boil down to, not this person on my feed again. Obviously, maybe it's because I am a political commentator that has had an assassination attempt on me, so I feel a level of empathy and camaraderie with Charlie Kirk, I will say. Aren't you glad that he got shot after South Park parodied him? Man, at least he got to see him reach the zenith. There really is only downhill from there. You're not going to get higher than that. I guess that's a positive.
Yeah, once you get on South Park, that is your peak as a human.
But I'll say this. I think that in Australia, you would have had to have gone to the absolute depths, the peripheries. I'm talking about those forum sites before you had someone, when someone tried to do an assassination attempt on me, before anyone in Australia was saying, good, that guy deserved it. Now, that has changed since, and I have seen a lot of these same figures say it, but at least we had the convention to just leave it at, this is a bit too far. Now, granted, a lot of them said it through gritted teeth, but I will credit the Australian public for saying that political violence is probably not a good idea. I think that, honestly, apart from that cliche opening that Americans discuss, this is an open question. In fact, it seems to be that it just is acceptable. This is acceptable behavior in the United States. Now, that's your country. You can do whatever you want with it. I'm just saying, from an outsider perspective, I'm very, very scared. That is psychotic. I cannot believe how public it is as well. It seems like the more public it is, the better. And I will add this. What do you think that you're accomplishing with this? Really? Like, in the sick, twisted mind of these people that go out, shoot someone that, in their mind, they will concoct a very tangential reason for why they deserved it. Do you think that anything is going to happen other than they're not going to post on that specific account anymore? Another Charlie Kirk will rise, I can assure you. This is very much like having an issue with McDonald's and going out and shooting Ronald McDonald. You're shooting an actor in clown makeup. That's what you've done today. You don't think that they're just going to say, okay, we'll get this guy in another suit and put another one there. There is no win here. None. Just this sort of sick, endless circus that continues to parade around the United States where, honestly, at this stage, my political leanings, I was always of the camp that it's entirely guns' fault. I'm starting to honestly think that the Republicans do have a point with, it's also that they're sickos there. I think that they're both sort of right at this point, that, okay, you could ban all guns tomorrow, not that you ever could, but theoretically, if you did that, I think that America is such a sick country that they'll just move to knives. And vice versa. I think that there's nothing really that you can do about that either. I think that there is just and I don't think that you can sit there and say this is for poverty reasons or any of those usual extractions. No, this is a cultural quirk. There are very poor countries across the planet, very poor countries like Bhutan. I don't think that the Charlie Kirk equivalent of in Bhutan is getting shot in the head. This is something that has risen out of here. And I've got to say, honestly, if you are a normal person in the United States and you are watching your country sort of implode in on itself, it must be a horrifying experience because as somebody that sort of depends of you in the District 1 of your empire, it's really, really disheartening. Anyway, I don't know. That was my immediate thoughts when I saw it. I think this is really sad and quite horrifying. On a societal level. Let me know what you think in the comments. But, yeah, like, sorry that happened to you, Charlie Kirk's parents. That's awful.
There's so much that I could talk about on there. I'll try to make this relatively short and, but there's a lot of questions that arise from, such event, a lot of thoughts, a lot of things going on. But first things first, we hit the like. I am subscribed to Friendly Jordies, and I'll have a link of the original video down in the description below. So again, I talked more about my opinion on Charlie Kirk in that video, if you guys want to check it out, in a Tom MacDonald song, Charlie. But just to summarize it, I don't agree with a lot of things that Charlie said in the past, right? Not that I followed him or anything, just, some things that I've heard since his passing about how he was, etc., what he stood for, and I'm not on his side. I don't agree, but absolutely do not agree that killing someone is the answer. I mean, that's not even that's not an option. I like I said in the other video, I respect the fact that he had very strong thoughts, and the way he would go about it is have a political open debate, right? Let's talk about it. What he was doing at that college, right? Literally setting down a tent, a mic. Okay, let's talk about it. Any questions, right? And that's the way to do it. So it's very it's such a coward way. I mean, of course, horrific, terrible, but such coward to do it in that manner, instead of like, oh, okay, so you don't agree with him. It's like there's different levels to it, right? In my case, it's like, oh, I casually heard some of his statements and whatever. I don't agree with it. Like, that's fine, whatever. I'm gonna go about my day. I don't care. Some people are like, oh, they really get into it, and it's such like this political stove that has been burning in the United States for, I would say, like 10 years, ever since Trump came into office. And just people are like, for example, I'm on Facebook and I see some people that are just constantly posting like every hour on Facebook about something political. It's like, honestly, don't do something with your life. Like, don't let this consume you. It really does not, it could not affect you to that level where it's like absolutely disturbing your life, right? Like that's not even healthy. So there's my level where I listen to it, I disagree, and I'm like, yeah, with whatever, that's your opinion. I guess that's fair. And other people that are like, no, I'm going to get into it. How could you do this? How could you say this? You're destroying it. And then it just keeps rising and rising to the absolute highest, like, maniac level where you don't agree with it. And your thoughts aren't, okay, I don't agree. Let me go to one of the presentations, one of the talks or whatever, and try to get a word in, get the mic and debate this guy. Your thought is like, okay, I don't agree to such degree that I want to kill him. As he said, friendly Jordies, that doesn't change anything. There's going to be more Charlie Kirks. They keep rotating. Like it's just people with ideas, and there's many people that share his mentality. So what, he's gone, there's going to be another person that has the same thoughts, that shares the same political stance. What are you going to do? You can't just, and I've been living here. I'm back in Colombia for 6 years, and a lot of people ask me here and there, hey, when are you coming back? When are you gonna visit? When are you gonna come back to the United States? And at this point, like, I don't even want to for vacation, right? There's such a like heavy energy in the atmosphere right now in the United States that it honestly doesn't. I feel safer here. I mean, let that sink into your ears. If you guys think, if you're from Colombia, maybe you have an idea of how it is here. If you're from outside, maybe you think you have a different perspective, but I actually feel safer here where I am than in the United States, because the crime is, it's just different. There, like I said, there's levels. Here it's like, okay, you get your phone stolen, you go to the train station or the bus, whatever, there's going to be like, just like your regular everyday thief that pickpockets you, or just straight up, they could pull a weapon, they could do it sneakily, whatever. In many cases, it's just that you're unaware. It's just like you're walking on the street, you have your phone, a motorcycle goes by, they take your phone, it's over, right? In America, it's like, oh, you could get shot. There's mass shootings. Could be a political rally, could be, which is like, out of all places, it's like, okay, fine, fair. I'm not going to put myself in that environment. That's kind of hot right now. What about just the supermarket? Could happen there, could happen at a bar, could happen at a mall, could school. And like, there's no place that you're safe in except your house, maybe. So, and I know that may sound like exaggerated, but it like, you can't know where it's going to happen. Like, every single person that has been in a mass shooting, they would not have expected it. No one's going to think, oh, today's my turn, I'm going to see this. No. Same people that were at the event with Charlie Kirk, who would have expected that, right? It's like, and the more I think about it, it's been a few days since it happened, like, the more incredible, like, outrageous it seems in my head that we actually like, we actually saw it filmed, his death. And he had this comparison with, like, this is our generation's JFK moment, kind of. Not that I'm comparing Charlie to JFK at all in terms of, who they were as people and what they stood for, but in like a big political moment. It could have been that time, when Trump, got the assassination attempt. If that was real, I don't even know what to believe in, but, let's just say that was real. That was also like incredible to witness, unfathomable. It's like, wow, we're really living in this time. But the fact that all these events keep happening in the United States all the time, it's just normal. And, with Charlie, of course, this is huge news right now. Everyone's thinking about it. It's at the top of the list. In 2 weeks, people are going to move on, and something else is going to happen, and that's going to be the news, unfortunately. And that's the way it's been happening for some years now in the United States. So the issue there, and again, man, this video is probably already long enough, but what the heck, we're already talking about it. Mainly, I think it's guns, of course, gun control, that's huge. Medication, prescription, a lot of people with mental health issues in the United States, it's like a combination of those and a bunch of other things, and maybe 3 things. If I had to pick 3 things that are at the top, is like the political, like, war that's happening right now, mental health issues of people in America, and guns, or lack of gun control. Those 3 things are a perfect recipe for what keeps happening in the United States, and you address those things separately, of course. I mean, I'm just giving you my thoughts, right? As a person, I'm not, I don't claim to know the answers or anything, but just from my logic, it would be have stricter gun controls. Of course, people are, the bad guys are going to get the guns anyway, but the more you restrict them, the less, like the more difficult you're gonna make it for people to access guns, which is helpful. That's what you want, right? Mental health issues, that's a big topic that, I mean, that can go into so many different things, but yeah, it's just people need to, I think, overall live healthier lives. It could even be the food, all the GMOs, the chemicals that are in the food. Yeah, but that could be it. Well, what's the other one? And the political war that's happening, that is completely dividing the country. Like I said, of course there is political tension in other countries, in most, but not quite to the point of the United States, where you feel like you're having a conversation with somebody on Facebook, on social media, and it's like an absolute debate of like, okay, you're either on my side or get the F out, or I'm gonna block you. Like we can no longer talk to each other. Like that's the level. Like, really, you care that much about Hillary Clinton or Trump or anyone that is gonna ruin a friendship or whatever it is? So people are like super cutthroat when you start talking about politics. It's like, okay, you got to pick a team, buddy. All right, Democrat, Republican, left. What are you? Extremist, or a radical, a liberal, or just say the term. What are you? It's like, for me, in my case, I may swing more in one direction, but I don't classify myself as anything, because I don't want to put myself in a box. I don't want to be in a category. I don't follow politics to the point where it takes over my life. Whoever's president, whoever is up there ruling the country, of course that's going to affect everybody to a certain degree, but you still have, if you have no control over it, just live your life. Go eat, go exercise, go make videos, go to work, go whatever, be with your family, do whatever you're going to do, regardless of who's president, of who's your senator, of who's whatever. And that's my advice. It may seem a bit, maybe people call it like selfish, or like, oh no, you're not doing enough for the country. It's like the whole point is like people have to vote, and then we choose a look. I see it as outside my control. I really don't like to spend my time and my energy in things that I feel like are outside of my capabilities. As an artist, what I like to focus on is just, doing my drawings, listening to music, doing reactions, doing exercise, doing things that are going to help me grow as a person, for me, for my family, the people around me, whatever. What am I going to do if, about what Charlie Kirk thinks, or any of these guys in politics? Nothing. Absolutely not. It's just my personal opinion. So there's, the fact that some people go that far as to try to shoot people, assassinate, like that is like a caveman mentality. Like, that's brutal. It reminds me of like those stories that you read from medieval times, like torture methods and stuff like that. And you read about ancient times, like Genghis Khan, like Vlad the Impaler, about Hitler, about things that you're like, oh man, that was terrifying living back then. But you're kind of seeing it today in a different scale. But instead of being like, well-known public figures that are doing, these assassinations and terrible things, it's just like people, which is probably worse, because then there's like, anyone can do it. There's so many people, and that's what keeps happening. Just random sickos on the street pulling this off. So a dangerous place to live in right now in the United States, because of that mentality, because of there's so many sickos and because of this political fuel, that until people realize like they're both working for the same man, it's all the same. It's really like they're both bad. If you're in politics, if you're in president of the United States and you're at the top right now, I would say it's just like it's all terrible. So don't worry about people choosing sides or this and that, and definitely don't let it affect your life, your state of mind, your happiness, because it's not worth it. That's the way I see it. I just think it's better to live my life and focus on that, and that's what I've been doing. In fact, I try to see, the less news I see, the better, right? I've gone maybe like 10 years or so without trying to see the news. Everything I see is just like on social media that you can't escape. You turn something on, it's like there it is. But I don't go out of my way to look and watch the news and see everything, because that is always a negative energy that I get. And if something important happens, I'm still gonna find out either way. But yeah, this is terrible. Man, it sucks to see the United States fall into chaos this way. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, feel free to write it down. Hit the like, subscribe, and at the end, do a flip. Till the next.